Today we're going to take a look at solving literal equations, and we're going to write those equations in slope-intercept form. So a literal equation is just an equation that has more than one variable in the equation. To solve for it, you would have to choose one of those variables, or it would be asked to solve for, and you would choose and solve that variable in terms of the other variables and numbers that were in the equation. We are going to solve for y in every equation, and we want to fit every equation into the slope-intercept equation, which is y equals mx plus b. So our goal is to solve for y. By doing this, then we'll be able to take any linear equation in any form, and we'll be able to solve for y, get it into slope-intercept form, pull off the slope in the y-intercept, and graph it as we have been doing in class. So our first equation is 2y equals 18x. So solving for y, we can see on this side the only thing we have is 2 times y. So we would divide by 2 on both sides. This would leave us with a 1 and y, so it's just 1y or y. And then we always take the number and we would reduce it accordingly. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and keep the x. And what we have done is we have solved for y in terms of x, or put it into y equals mx plus b form, where m is the slope, 9 over 1. There's nothing being added to it, so b is 0. And we'd be able to graph this equation if we needed to do that. The second equation is in standard form. That means x and y are on the same side out of the equation, and the number all by itself on the other side of the equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve for y yet again. So we have 7 times y plus x equals 14. So we're going to bring that x to the other side of the equation. But I'm going to offset it a little bit from the 14 because x and 14 cannot be combined. Positive x minus x will zero out. That's the purpose. We have 7y still on the left side equals. When we rewrite this equation, we want to keep in mind that it's y equals mx plus b, so we want the x term to come first right after the equal sign. So we're going to take minus x and make it negative x. That 14 is positive, so it will be plus 14. Now it's not quite solved for y because it's 7y equals negative x plus 14. So we will then divide by 7, and you would divide each individual term by 7. 7 over 7 is 1. That leaves us with y equals. The number in front of that x is a negative 1. So we're going to separate the negative 1 over 7 from the x, keeping that x in the upper numerator or neutral position. And then we're going to calculate 14 divided by 7, which is 2, so plus 2. So as we build our equations, we're actually separating the number from the x. That would be our slope. So when we look here, our slope is negative 1/7, and our y-intercept is 2. And this is our equation written in slope-intercept form, or solved for y. Okay, again, remember our goal is y equals mx plus b. So y is already on the left-hand side, and we're going to keep it here. So we're going to take that positive 8, and we're going to bring it to the other side, and we're going to line it up under the 20, because 20 and 8 are numbers, so they are like terms. This is going to cross out to 0. We're going to bring down exactly what we see on the left, which is a negative 4y equals. We're going to calculate 20 minus 8. 20 minus 8 is 12, plus plus x. Now, what we want is we need x term to appear right after the equal sign. So we're going to take negative 4y and we're going to rewrite it, okay? Negative 4y equals 12 plus x, and we're going to do this and bring it down here and say, all right, it's negative 4y equals. I want to put the positive x immediately after the equal sign. That is a positive 12, so we write plus 12. Now we have it in y equals mx plus b form, but we didn't quite solve for y yet. All right, so now we're going to solve for y to get this in slope-intercept form. So we divide by -4 on every term. -4 over -4 is 1, so this gives us 1y equals. Now, there's a 1 in front of this x, and a positive divided by a negative gives us a negative. And we're going to separate the 1/4, the number, from the x, keeping the x in the upper neutral position. Now we have a positive 12 divided by a -4, and that gives us a negative, and it's going to give us a -3. And this is your slope-intercept form where we can pull off the slope and the y-intercept, and we'd be able to graph. All right, 2 problems to go. All right, in a case where we have distributive property, we're going to distribute our 4 into our x and y. Okay, and then we're going to solve for y, just like we did on all the other problems, by subtracting 4x to each side, offsetting the 4x so that you know that 24 and 4x can't combine. Bring down 4y, which is positive, equals, and put the x term immediately after the equal sign with its sign. And that 24 is positive, so it's plus 24. Then we're going to divide by 4 on every single term. And we're going to get 1y equals -4 divided by 4 is -1. X, positive 24 divided by 4 is 6. So we're going to get y equals -1x plus 6, or you can get y equals -x plus 6 if you would like to keep the -1 off of the x and just put a negative sign. And lastly is a bigger problem, okay? It's 1/3 x minus 1/5 y equals 1. Actually, it should equal 15, so let's get that. No, it's equals to 1, sorry. So 1/5 x minus 1/5 y equals 1. We have to get rid of the fractions. We don't like them, so we're going to get rid of them. And the way we do it is we multiply by the common denominator. So 3 and 5 are my denominators. So 3 times 5 is 15. So we are going to multiply by 15 on both sides of the equation. So we're going to distribute here 15 over 3x minus, we're going to distribute 15 here, and we're going to get 15 over 5y. And we're going to distribute 15 into the 1, and we're going to get equals 15. Okay, now we're going to simplify. 15 divided by 3 is 5, keep x. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so minus 3, and keep the y, and that equals 15. Now you're in a position to solve for y, just as we have been doing. So we're going to take 5x and subtract it from each side. Again, offsetting from the 15, because you cannot combine those. We get -3y equals, write the x term immediately after the equal sign, so -5x plus 15, because that is a positive 15. And now we're going to divide by -3 everywhere. -3 divided by -3 is 1y. Negative divided by a negative is positive. 5/3 stays as 5/3. Do not change that to a decimal. And then positive 15 divided by -3 is a negative, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. And there is your equation written in slope-intercept form. Y equals 5/3 x minus 5.